Now, if you don't have information that's helpful to this case, then you wouldn't be a witness, correct?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Sustained. Sustained. Next question.
I'm not aware.
Okay, you know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
it? I can ask that question.
Oh, ruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in a target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
A little argumentative, don't you think?
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr. Depp's attorney...
I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
No.
I find that to be purely logical. Thank you. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
No.
I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
You know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
it? I can ask that question.
Oh, ruled.
So
I mean, he did
stand to gain
laugh.
nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in a target of TMZ,
There you
a
go.
very litigious
Good answer.
organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr.
Chew
Depp's
like that.
attorneys were
He did.
well
I
aware
thought that was
of
funny.
the TRO that was going to be presented? You know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
it? I can ask that question.
Oh, ruled.
So
I mean, he did
stand to gain
laugh.
nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in a target of TMZ,
There you
a
go.
very litigious
Good answer.
organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr.
Chew
Depp's
like that.
attorneys were
He did.
well
I
aware
thought that was
of
funny.
the TRO that was going to be presented on?
You're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr.
Chew
Depp's
like that.
attorneys were
He did.
well
I
aware
thought that was
of
funny.
the TRO that was going to be presented on?
You're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr.
Chew
Depp's
like that.
attorneys were
He did.
well
I
aware
thought that was
of
funny.
the TRO that was going to be presented on?
I wonder if it might be possible to play the clip I posted in private chat, because I think the audience's reactions are interesting. So
Whose
good.
video is it? I
This
just want
is
to make sure I
mine.
don't get a copyright claim
It's
on.
mine. Well, it's a
It's on
clip
your
of
channel?
us, so it's yours.
It's clipped. It's your clip.
It's
It's clipped
yours.
of you.
Are you going to
you.
strike yourself, Alita?
On whose channel is it?
It's on your channel. It's a
Oh,
clip-
okay.
Your
well,
channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
doesn't matter.
guys.
It might be on my channel. I'm not sure.
Okay, let me see here.
Kurt doesn't know where he put it.
I didn't really put it anywhere, so I'm not technically sure where it exists.
Okay, give me 1 second here. Sorry. I just need to make sure that I'm capturing these here while I.
Did-
1 second.
Have,
Talk amongst
have we
yourselves.
talked about the fact that the judge entered an order on Amber Heard's motion to seal records related to the jurors' identities?
No.
No. What happened?
So Amber Heard filed a motion to seal the identities of the jurors' information and identifiers, seal records relating to their identities, and Judge Ascarati granted the motion on the 18th and 16th, two separate motions, one that was more specific, granting all information and sealing it for a year, and the other one that just sealed all identifiers.
Now, Rob, will that bind a juror from wanting to come out directly by themselves voluntarily?
No, it won't, because the jury is actually not subject to this particular order.
Okay.
Alrighty. Do you want me
Now,
to play it?
Yep. Turn on the audio and watch the audience. See if LawTube has some thoughts about this clip.
Okay.
You know this
no.
case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't it?
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
I can ask that question.
Oh, ruled.
So
I mean, he did
stand to gain
laugh.
nothing from this. I'm actually putting
Yeah, but how's
myself
that overruled?
kind of in the target of TMZ,
There
a
you go.
very litigious
Good answer.
organization.
This is
And
great
I'm not
commentary, I have to
seeking
say.
any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you. Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical.
Now, are you aware that
Ben
Mr.
Chu,
Jeffs,
like,
All right.
End of clip.
Fun. Fun.
I thought the DUI guy might have some thoughts regarding this piece of testimony. Maybe he'd like to comment more about it at some point in the future. Just really subtle reaction. Not sure he picked up on it. But,
yeah, it's
he
very
seems to have some
YouTuber with a
thoughts.
red arrow somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that is one of those things about having cameras in the courtroom. And you can also sometimes pick up the audience reactions.
So I'm interested to hear, going back to the Johnny Depp cross-exam earlier, I'm interested.
Yeah, I put it on extremely slow mode because we are going to have thousands of people in here, Tabby's daddy. Justice for DUI guy? Oh, Lord. Come on. Are you serious? Copper Grasshopper, please don't tell me this is a real thing. Seriously? Where is this coming from? I hate the fact okay, so, oh my God. Do you guys seriously want to address the Legal Bytes drama? No, please don't tell me this is real. I know I know she banned me. She fucking sent me a tweet. I know she banned me. Okay, all right. Cat's out of the bag. Cat's out of the bag. All right. I'm done. If it's already a thing, I might as well call it out because I didn't want to. Why would she do? I don't understand. Okay. All right. We're doing this. We're going to address the drama just real quick so that we can leave it and forget about it. God, I hate doing this kind of shit. I really hate it. This is the tweet that I was sent by Legal Bytes. And I'm going to make it bigger so you guys can see. That's better. This is what she wrote. She wrote, "Hey, I'm really sorry to have to do this, but I'm going to need to ask you and James." She didn't mention anything about Scott or Vanessa. I'm not sure why we're the only two included here because Scott had the same reaction. Vanessa, I don't remember. I think she was hidden by Camille's head. I think. I can't remember. Again, I haven't really analyzed it. I've been too busy. I haven't analyzed the image and the stuff coming after it. I've seen some of the TikToks, though. By the way, did you know? Well, we'll get to it. Well, actually, I'll say it right now. If you look at some of the TikToks that have the reactions of both actually, was it all three? Camille Vasquez, Ben Chu, and Johnny Depp all laughed. So this is what she wrote. "Hey, I'm really sorry to have to do this, but I'm going to need to ask you and James not to come onto the live stream after court today." So that was yesterday, right? That was yesterday. This is not today. "I'm happy to discuss at a different time the specifics." So right now she has no justification, but I am seeing things like big faces being made in the courtroom. You mean our natural reactions to a fucking nuclear bomb that exploded in the middle of court during testimony that completely shattered a lane live in front of billions of people? Is that what you're talking? Like the big faces that our natural reactions faces? Is that what you're referring to? and some questionable tweets with photos. Questionable tweets with photos. I think she's referring to Whitney Hurd overhearing our conversations. Talk to Vanessa, talk to James, talk to Scott, or talk to myself, and all four of us will confirm that Whitney has been turning her head trying to listen to the things that we have been saying because she's in close proximity to us, and there is a 100% chance that we were within earshot, especially when we were whispering just above inaudible levels. Okay? So before you start throwing accusations around, please confirm your facts. That is all I'm asking you. All right, Legal Bytes? There's a reason I can't remember your name, and I think I'm starting to learn why. Some questionable tweets with photos that I'm hearing are raising. Okay, now this, up until this point, I was like, all right, whatever. Whatever. I understand. I get it. I get it. Some questionable tweets with photos that I'm hearing. Up until this point, I was like, you know what? All right. People are upset. She doesn't want us on her stream. Logical. Now here it takes a turn. And I'd like to know her sources, by the way. I'd like to know the information where she got this information from. And I will get to some facts rather than speculation, okay? Concerned by courthouse staff. I'm hearing are raising concerns. I'm sorry, I lost my place. I apologize. Some questionable tweets with photos that I am hearing. Objection hearsay. From whom? You didn't say from. Can you please enlighten me? Can you please tell me who you're hearing this from? Because I have not heard this. I have passed by probably about 25 sheriff's deputies this morning, 5 clerks, other courtroom employees, the stenographer who stopped to talk to me for like 15 minutes that almost made her late to court. Not a single person was like, excuse me, Mr. Foreman, aka DUI guy, you are not permitted in the courtroom today. Some issues have been... The entire courthouse was completely silent on the issue. I know because I was there. So I'm hearing are raising some serious concern by the court staff. I would like to hear some names because I have not heard a single name from a single court staff person. By the way, I hate to do this. Just so you know, I hate that I have to do this right now. Why did you do this? That's what I want to know. And I have to clear the air so that the public is aware of the facts, okay? I'm literally shaking right now. I wanted to talk about the trial, not this crap. I'm hearing or raising some serious concern by the court staff that I'm concerned that people might draw an inference that I'm somehow directing these things for views. Directing what for views? Having us on? I don't know. Again, I'm really sorry, all right? But at least for today, we're going to need to do without in-court perspective. Thrive. I'm not here to step on toes. I'm not here to try and bring anyone down. You don't need to go unsubscribe to her. You don't have to do that. I'm just saying I wanted that. I wanted to clear the air. I did not want to share this. I shared this with one other lawtuber, and I personally asked them yesterday, please do not share this. And as far as I know, they didn't. As far as I know, they didn't. I am doing it now just to clear the air. Okay, can we go back to business, please? Can we go back? I'm done with this. Thank you. Never in my life have I thought we're going to have drama in the middle of like the biggest trial of the fucking century. You're going to start throwing shade with with accusations with no substantiation. I mean, I literally just disproved what you said. Issues with the courthouse staff, where were they? Nobody kicked us out today. We sat in our same seats. So, moving on. Where the hell was
And we are live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am coming in without the normal intro because at first I want to just say a few things. I know that there has been a lot of chatter out there on the interwebs. That's the only reason why I'm going to address something first before we actually go live, is because we've gotten a lot of comments from some folks about some stuff that's going on. I just want to say that when it comes to our trial streams, we have a lot of fun. We share memes. We sometimes, make impressions. We sing songs and all that kind of stuff. But do not be fooled. Like we have a lot of fun. We don't take ourselves seriously, but we do take the process of the judicial system, the court system, very, very seriously. And we take court rules also very, very seriously. So I wanted to make a statement about that. When we are sending folks into the courtroom, we have an expectation, a hope that folks are going to be following the rules of the courtroom. Because if they don't, and then word gets out that they are connected to certain live streams, certain folks, certain communities, that can reflect very poorly on the entire community. And especially if that does not reflect the standards that you want to be showing. That is problematic. So there are certain rules of conduct within the courtroom, and there are reasons for those rules, and we take those rules very seriously. The reason being that, first off, this stuff is open to the public. It's open to the public, and with that comes a responsibility from the public not to try to, or to try not to impact the outcome of the case. And so with that, there are rules of conduct, like I said. Certain things that can happen that can impact the jury, which can impact the outcome, and that can come back to haunt everyone that is connected to that conduct. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything, Rob, if you want to add anything as a local litigator that works out of the courtroom.
I mean, to people that are here and people that are watching, I've been practicing law for more than 10 years, and I've been trying cases in this courthouse for more than 10 years. And I have been very proud at how this proceeding has been run. It's been incredible. It's been orchestrated wonderfully. And it was a big risk for the judge to allow media access in a case of this profile into the courtroom. And she did that on certain conditions. I mean, she issued an order that's available on the website that says spectators are to maintain proper decorum. They're not to give reaction. They're not to say anything. I mean, she basically has a rule in place that if you pull your cell phone out in that courtroom, you're getting booted. I almost said yeeted, and that made me uncomfortable for a second.
Checks out.
Yeah. So it was a big risk for the judge to do that. And with that risk comes a great reward. And that reward is that we get this opportunity. Me, a 10-year practitioner, gets this opportunity to explain what would otherwise be a remarkably complicated issue and complicated legal proceedings in a way that you guys can digest it. I mean, that's not something that we get all the time. There are things that lawyers refer to as trials of the century. These are things that are huge issues that we just wish we could explain to everybody out there in a way that you guys can understand it. And this is that chance, and we take that really seriously. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah. And another thing about the live streams that we are doing here is that the purpose is, of course, to entertain and to have fun, but also to really educate and inform. And with a live stream covering this kind of a case with this kind of media coverage, we also have gotten our own share of commentary from other people looking at us. And we have also pushed back on this narrative that all live streams covering this trial are doing it to sensationalize and to turn it into a cheap circus entertainment. And we are not about that. That is something that those of us who have been on this panel have felt quite strongly about. Although we do have fun with it, we very much respect the process of the court system. and the rules that come out of that. So yes, that's basically.
And the folks that have visited on my channel know exactly what you're talking about. We got a lot of coverage for all of us doing these kinds of things. And that means we're under a microscope. And we're going to do our damnedest, I know, from me, to be better and to do it right.
Yep. That's all. That's basically it. So pretty much folks that are going to be showing up on the live stream are people that are going to be hopefully understanding that. Anyhow, that's about all I have to say. Do you guys have anything else that you want to say about that?
No, I'm looking forward to hearing you say YouTube-y stuff.
YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, subscribe, all the above.
That's all that we're going to say about that. I know that there all right. And I think we're live. So there are many people that I have talked to in the last, I don't know how many hours, who have advised me not to say or do anything, or if I do, to do something in a very, very, very closely guarded kind of way. I'm not really sure exactly how I am where I am right now, but I guess the first thing that I want to do is to say that today I came to realize that I've said some things in a couple different ways that have come across in a way that is not the way that I intended and clearly not received well. And I understand why some things have not been received well. I don't have any excuses for the way that I've come across to some people. But the one thing that I would request, if people will allow me, is a little bit of space to explain things from my perspective, because I feel like there's been a lot of communication from other people. I don't know. I don't want to do anything. The last 6 weeks have been a lot, you guys. Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of work, a lot. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to tell you, I have some notes here. I hope that no one's offended. Anyhow, I understand there's been a lot of communication around all of my channels. That's been abundantly clear to me that there are people that are unhappy with some things that I've said, and I understand that. I guess just to sort of like back up and give some context, what I'd like to do is kind of talk about some things. And by the way, I know that there's been a lot of, this is not monetized, is all I'll say. None of this is monetized. There's no super chats. There's no super stickers or anything here. Anyhow, this channel has grown a lot in the last 2 months, like by about 200,000 subscribers. I recognize that the vast majority of people that are on this channel are very new. They may not know me that well. I've hoped that throughout the process of this trial, I hope that I've been coming across sincerely, but I also know that there are times in all of the hours of live streaming and recording videos and recaps and all that stuff that I'm not always going to be carrying myself in the way that I would like to. With all that hard work that's been coming in the last couple of months, there's been a lot of growth in the channel, which means that there's been a lot of new attention, a lot of positive attention, which is great, and some negative attention. There's been a lot about, you guys have seen articles about trial streaming of the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial, criticisms about that it's like disrespectful of DV claims and of this one in particular. And that there's criticism that is turning the courtroom into clickbaity circuses and that kind of stuff. So I've been very sensitive to that kind of thing throughout this whole process. And I haven't always been very successful in my delivery on stuff, but at the same time, I hope that it has been clear at times that I'm always trying to learn as I go. Anyhow, with all that attention, I have always been very worried about mistakes that can possibly be weaponized. Because, I already said there's been articles and stuff, and that mentioned LawTube and that throw shade around these various trial streams. And I see the growth of LawTube and I'm so thrilled about it. I'm so happy about it. And, like we've got new channels that are popping up and just like growing out of nowhere, and seeing so many of our friends getting to over 100,000 subscribers. I'm one of them. Like I before I started covering this trial, I was at like literally like 43,000 subscribers. And I'm so happy to like be there and see a lot of my friends, see these same things. Anyhow, I see where LawTube is going, and I see that there are people that are threatened by the growth of LawTube. I've always been very worried about the ways in which that can be weaponized, and so that has made me very protective of LawTube at the same time. The branding, if you will, reputation, and as things have grown and more people have come onto the panels, I've been so excited because when I first started streaming, I didn't know if anyone was going to join me. I didn't know if anyone was going to be watching. And I've just been so thrilled. I've been so happy with how people have been wanting to join in. And when we started making contact with people in the courtroom to get live updates from the jury, that was like the best thing ever, because I was excited to be able to get that kind of insight, because there's something, missing that you don't quite get when you're live streaming a trial and as opposed to being in the courtroom itself. Anyhow, when we did start, making contact with folks in the courtroom, then people from LawTube wanted to go and start, going in there and observing themselves and coming back and telling us. And it's been wonderful. It's been really great. There are rules in the courtroom too. I've mentioned that. And I know that the thing that I said before was not well received, and it wasn't a good message. The way that I came across was not good. I knew it when I was coming off of that message and into the last live stream. I knew it. And I instantly wanted to like redo that message and like make another one, because I knew it wasn't right. But there's always this idea that like if you do something too many times, make too many statements, you start running into problems. Anyway, I'm already whatever. So the thing that I was trying to get across earlier, let me go back. Let me just go back before I get to that. I was starting to hear things that were concerning to me. And folks that are connected to us in some ways. And I panicked. I will be honest. I panicked, and I sent a DM that is like I sent some hastily typed DMs in the middle of live streaming when I'm admittedly very tired. Those DMs could have been drafted much better. I understand that those have been taken as condescending, and I get it. I can see that. When I send a DM, I usually hope that is taken as a DM. I had hoped that would be a one-on-one conversation. I never expected a DM to become a public conversation. I just wanted a one-on-one conversation. Next thing I knew, I'm getting tweets and DMs coming my way about an insinuation on another live stream about somebody getting banned, or or uninvited, expressly uninvited from a LawTube live stream. And I got concerned because I didn't want to have to talk about anything publicly. I didn't want to have to do anything like that. So what happened was I did what I normally like to do in real life and address it head on. And the statement that I made was not the one that I wanted to make, not the one that I envisioned in my head. And I'm sorry for that. I apologize. I really do. There were things that I said. I know. I've seen some of the commentary from folks saying things like, you know, you didn't send them. I get it. I know. I'm very well aware, guys. I have never intended to come across like I'm somehow taking accomplishments for anybody else. I would have hoped that people would understand that at this point after so much time in these live streams. But I can understand why people would read it that way. I can. And I understand that the folks are going to these folks are going into the courtroom on their own, by their own volition. And I get that I'm not one to take credit for it. One of those guys that was in the courtroom there was also with me on that live stream. And by the way, I also don't want anyone to be giving any hate to anyone else that has been showing up on my channel. I would very much appreciate that because I take full responsibility for my channel. I take full responsibility for the things that I say and that I do. And I don't want anyone else to be taking hits on my behalf. So the thing that I was most concerned about, talking about that statement, which I very poorly stated, and I didn't thread the needle at all as to what I meant. The thing that concerned me, I didn't want to have to talk about any of this stuff publicly. The thing that concerned me is that when we have that there are rules in the courtroom for conduct, and it's not just because courtrooms are stuffy. The reasons are, a lot of them, to make sure that we don't have an impact on the jury. And when courts open up the courtroom to the public in the ways that they do for a case like this, there's a huge risk. There's a huge risk that the public can have an impact. And so there are these rules, and they've been strictly enforced. This judge in particular strictly enforces rules. We've seen a witness get kicked off the stand. We've seen, we've seen time limits strictly enforced. So, and this being a very important case to a lot of people, I am very sensitive to those rules myself, and I try not to take myself seriously. This is why I'll make fun of myself all the time on these streams. I recognize that there are those that find me boring. I recognize that there are those that find me basic. That's fine. That's all fair. That's me. That's who I am. But I take the process seriously. And when I see things and I hear things that I'm concerned about, I get protective, and I want to make sure that those things don't get tracked back to me or others that are also in this space. And just to give a little bit more context, the sudden growth that happened on this channel came out of nowhere, seemingly, and it has resulted in getting media attention. I already talked about this. I already said this. But the thing is, like, I had this sudden panicked image in my head of like, if something were to happen, there's certain things that are taken as attention. And There are memes that have been passed around from that particular TMZ moment. There are memes. If something were to get out and something were to impact the jury, and the judge were to make a very strict and swift decision, there's a possibility that something like that could result in a mistrial. Imagine the absolute devastation if that were to happen in this case, after all of the years of litigation that happened and all the time and money spent. And imagine if that were to get linked back to the live streams that are coming out of LawTube. That's a concern to me. That is a legitimate concern to me. And you can decide if you think that is BS or not. That's a concern. And I have a lot of sudden pressure on me because I suddenly have people calling me for comment on articles and things like that. And I know that there are those that are looking to take down LawTube. Of course, because I can see where LawTube can go, and I can see where LawTube is going. And I have so much respect for everyone else in this space. These are my brothers and sisters in LawTube. A lot of them are like, I consider them family. Anyhow. I sent a DM. I didn't get a response. It worried me. But I have also been working at a very rapid pace in the last 6 weeks. So I didn't think too much about it until I started seeing tweets and stuff. Anyhow. The statement that I made yesterday was not the one that I pictured. And I'm sorry for that, guys. I am. It's not the brand that I want to have. It's not the brand that I have, that I like to portray, that I like to be myself. Anyhow. I think I just wanted to apologize for that. I could have done it in writing. It didn't really feel right. I recognize that this is a medium that really opens me up to a lot of vulnerability, because I can be torn to shreds on a video. There were those that recommended not to do anything, and especially not in a video. So anyhow, I could have done this in a series of tweets, but that just didn't feel like, that would be as open. Anyhow. I do apologize. I never meant any offense to anyone. I really didn't. I'm sorry. I guess that's all.